When it comes to celebrity fan bases, most of them are loyal and super supportive. That is usually until their favorite celeb receives an insult or critique. These 10 megastars have a fan base so loyal that they can sometimes turn scary. Today we're counting down the top 10 celebrities that have the scariest fan bases. Have you ever been / are you currently a part of a big fan base? If so, let me know which one, and if not, let me know which ones scare you the most in the comments below. At number 10, Kim Kardashian. With all the hate and criticism she receives, sometimes I wonder if she even has much of a fan base. Then I remember without fans, Kardashian would be nowhere. At least singers and actors have their talents to get by on, but reality stars turned personalities have to rely on their businesses and being themselves to make their money. Seeing how Kim continues to get richer and richer, there has to be a fan base out there. They've had a consistent audience for their show since 2007, so much so that after they ended Keeping Up with the Kardashians, they came out with a new reality show called The Kardashians. Every time Kim launches a new clothing item or makeup product or perfume, they sell out fast. Not to mention the trend she sets when it comes to beauty and fashion. Kardashian fans are loyal, but they also have no problem calling Kim out themselves. For instance, if Kim launches an ad or posts a photo that involves clear editing or Photoshop fail, they're the first to say something about it, and they usually aren't very nice. Number 9, Lady Gaga. She refers to her fans as little monsters, and they can become big monsters if anyone dares to criticize Gaga. With the talent she holds, it's no wonder she has such a massive fan base. One example of how dedicated her fans are is when they petitioned for a second art pop album. In 2013, Gaga released a very different and experimental album called Art Pop. Critical reaction was mixed, but her fans took it to their hearts. Gaga revealed when the album came out that she had written 50 songs for the album, so there was plenty more of it that was unreleased. This caused fans to want and hope that the singer would release a part 2 of Art Pop. So much so that last year, 8 years after the release, the 2013 album was back, climbing the charts in 2021. The Little Monsters even created a petition that said, in remembrance of the album's 10-year anniversary, let's band together to show our support for Art Pop. They wanted as many signatures as they could get to show Gaga that they still care about the experimental album and the chart success doesn't matter. Gaga noticed the petition and tweeted her gratitude to her fans, so who knows, maybe we will be getting a volume 2 one day. Number 8, Ariana Grande. This singer has a huge fandom and they call themselves Arianators, which Grande has revealed that she hates. In 2019, her fans went after a writer after she criticized Ariana. She revealed some of the direct messages she received from Arianators. One of them just flat out said, "You're disgusting," and another, "I hate you." Mixed in were racial stereotypes and other mean comments like "stupid rat," and fans explaining why she's wrong. Not only that, but Grande took to Twitter herself to remind fans not to lay their hands on strangers. She said, "Friendly reminder, grabbing / touching people without their consent is never okay. Please do not put your hands on my photographer or friends or anyone you don't know for that matter when you're at the pit at my shows. It's never okay or funny. Thank you." Then in brackets she wrote, "I can't believe this has to be said, but unfortunately it happens often. Thanks for listening." I don't know what happens to superfans when it comes to their favorite celeb, but to forget not to touch other people or their consequences of cyberbullying is another level. Number 7, Harry Styles. 10 years ago, One Direction fans were absolutely unhinged when it came to those boys. Now Harry Styles fans are 10 years older and maybe even more off the rails than ever before. Along with his music and gorgeous face, Styles is also a huge style icon who pushes the boundaries of gender and stereotypes. Recently, his shows are filled with fans emulating his style and trying to outdo other concert goers with their most eccentric looks. Fans also followed Harry over to the big screen, with teenage girls selling out the theaters for his first go at acting in 2017 with Dunkirk. I'm sure that war movie would have had a fraction of the tickets sold if it weren't for those Harry Styles fans. Even recently, Harry was in Don't Worry Darling, which had a lot of drama surrounding it. Styles fans would not stop talking about the scenes shown in the trailer so much that it caused his co-star Florence Pugh to make a statement talking about how the movie is so much more than the intimate scenes, and that's not why she does what she does. At this point, anything Harry does, his fans will absolutely lose their minds. Number 6, Beyonce. The singer's fans refer to her as Queen Bee, and they call themselves the Beyhive. With Beyonce being as successful as she is for as long as she has, she's bound to accumulate quite the loyal fan base. If Beyonce isn't happy with something, they will not hesitate hesitate to unleash their wrath upon that person or thing. One instance is when Beyonce's wax figure at Madame Tussauds was revealed in 2017. The Beyhive thought the resemblance was so bad they harshly criticized it on Twitter. They were so bad that the museum itself had to step in and comment on the issue. Another instance is when Jay-Z and Beyonce were at the NBA Finals in 2019. They were joined by Nicole Curran, whose husband owns the Warriors. Curran was chatting with Jay-Z, which caused her to lean over Beyonce. When these photos were released, the Beyhive once again took to Twitter to defend the singer. Curran received so much hate that she had to comment saying she is a happily married woman who was asking Jay-Z his drink order and that she loved Beyonce. At number 5, Justin Bieber. The singer was so popular at the height of his career that people referred to his fans as having Bieber fever. The fans call themselves his Beliebers, and when Justin was breaking into the music scene, it was impossible to not know who he was. Bieber had a roller coaster of a career, and his fans stuck through all of his phases. One fan that met Justin even went as far as to cut off a piece of her hair that had touched him while posing for a selfie. Another example of the Beliebers' intensity, especially during those early days, is when a 15-year-old Courtney caught the star's attention. She tweeted, "Not really a fan of Justin Bieber, but his acoustic album is actually really good," which Justin then retweeted for his followers to see. Instead of being happy that even someone who isn't a fan would praise the singer, she received a wave of threats and hurtful comments due to the fact that she wasn't a big fan. The tweets included comments encouraging Courtney to take her life, as they have been trying to get the singer's attention for years. Bieber really did take over the world after being discovered, and his wife Hailey even revealed that she was a Belieber once too, long before they met. At number 4, Kanye West. Maybe not so much now after his most recent antics online, but back when Kanye was in his prime of his music, his fans were loyal. During the feud between him and Taylor Swift over whether or not he had permission to talk about her in his song Famous, West fans were ruthless towards Swift. They would berate her with insults on Twitter, and it just wasn't behind the screens. During one of West's shows in Swift's hometown Nashville, the audience began to chant F Taylor Swift, with the encouragement of Kanye, of course. At this point though, I think the rapper himself is more hateful than any of his fans. That being said, there were a few people who, after Kanye made the harmful anti-Semitic comments, showed their support for the rapper. I think most people saw the images that were circling around of a group of men on a bridge with a banner that read "Kanye was right" and another saying "honk if you know." Whether they were actual fans or not, West's influence is bigger than he knows and has become dangerous. Number 3, Nicki Minaj. She calls her fans Barbs. Minaj, from the beginning of her career, has referred to herself as Barbie, so the name of her fans comes from that. Minaj has a huge fan base that have also been with her for years. When fans sense an ounce of criticism towards Minaj, they don't hold back. A couple months ago, the rapper was trending following the release of her #1 single, Super Freaky Girl. The Barbs were battling anyone who shared a conflicting view or opinion on social media, hitting the haters with anything from a threat to releasing personal details online. Cultural commentator Kimberly Foster criticized the song and Minaj's MTV Award performance in late August. Then, after tweeting that Minaj is so clearly a horrible person, she was met with mounds of threats, including violence, robbery, and some serious crimes YouTube will not let me say. This comes a few years after the same thing happened with music journalist Wanna Thompson. Not only do they get extreme, they get scary, and they'll do it again. Maybe save your Minaj critiques for your friends in person and not Twitter. Number 2, Taylor Swift. Ever since she released her first album as a teen, Taylor has had a strong and loyal fan base. This has only become more prominent with the release of all her new music. They call themselves Swifties, and they love Taylor. Not too long ago, she released Fearless, Taylor's version, along with Red, Taylor's version, both breaking several records. The most impressive part about this is the albums aren't new. The albums were re-recorded due to the rights of her old music being sold, meaning these albums had already been heard many times before by her fans, and they still both broke records. Her fans may seem sweet, but if anyone dare criticize their leader, they will not be holding back. One writer called out Taylor Swift for not saying anything about just how far her fans can go, like leaking people's addresses. After bringing it up, she later tweeted saying that she had been doxxed herself and endlessly bullied by Swifties. They may seem sweet like Taylor, but they can also get vicious. And at number 1, BTS. The K-pop boy band has probably the most intense loyal fan base of any star in the industry. In fact, fact, their fanbase call themselves the ARMY. It's no surprise with how quickly the Korean boy band rose to worldwide fame. The ARMY is not afraid to defend or protect the members if someone says something critical about BTS. Their fans are there to defend the band in floods of teenage girls who can get pretty nasty. For example, at the beginning of the year when BTS performed at the UN Assembly, James Corden said a few things about the boys in his show that the ARMY did not like. Corden referred to BTS as unusual visitors, and the late-night talk show host received a flood of hate and even some threats from the fans through social media. They even caused the ratings for Corden's show to drastically drop after he made the comments. Corden apologized to fans when BTS made an appearance on his show later that year. That was the top 10 celebrities that have the scariest fan bases. I have been your host, Maddie, and I will catch you later. I feel like I feel like Kardashian would be nowhere. 2007, oh my god. Cultural commentator Kimberly